mama and the director of Letters TV. I'm so happy that you decided to come back and join us and that you're supporting the season. We're doing a lot of great work here. And today we're joined by, I would say 4 young men, but we have a 5th one here who had to add his perspective as well. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Well, 2 of them you met last season. So we DeWitt, he was on our Local Heroes episode. Jaden, he was here giving the perspective of a teen boy. And we just had to have them back because it was the most hilarious episode of last season. And Lamille, do you want to introduce yourself for our audience?
Sure. My name is Lamille Norman. I am a teacher, and I am also an investor, among other things.
And then Papa?
My name is DeWitt Doss. I am retired since 2006. I keep busy to keep things going, and I'm just enjoying my time up here on vacation with my family.
Right. So we have, this is an intergenerational male perspective. So we have a teen here, we have 30s representing 40s and the 60s. So we can get different perspectives, and I think that's really important, especially for women, because a lot of times we go through life, I don't want to say blind, but we might not have the perspective of the male, and I think sometimes that's kind of dangerous because we're assuming an assumption that's never good to do. And also we have a lot of girls that are in my audience who are growing up without a male figure. So that's good to have perspective as well. So how about we start with talking about like the relationship that you had with your mothers? How was that for you, like growing up?
Well, me, myself, my relationship with my mother she was like my best friend, and you really don't really miss your mother until she's not out there for you to reach out to, somebody you can go to in privacy, and you can tell them one of the worst things that ever happened, and you feel all bad about it. She's so chill, man, what happened to me? She let you know that, this isn't something that's new that's happening to you. It didn't happen to them before, but maybe at a different era and stuff.
Right.
They teach you how to handle it.
I like that. How was your growing up with your mom, Emil?
My mom is she's a great person, right? So I still have a good relationship with my mom right now. She talks to me every couple of days or so. If I don't call her, she's always the first hitting my phone up saying, you forgot about me. But I enjoy it though, because I gotta remember sometimes that I gotta make sure I reach out to her, just to make sure she understands that her son does still love her, even though she's, miles and miles away. So, but my relationship growing up with her is pretty good. Like I don't have I'm not one of them kids that have some kind of problem with their parents. I think I had a pretty good childhood, so to speak. Didn't grow up with the best, but they made everything happen. So.
Right. So Jaden, you're still growing up. And your mom's sitting right here. So how's that for you?
Be careful.
I would say like what you said, that's my best friend for her. And she more like a younger mom. Like most of the people who have like their parents are older. So she basically, I'm not gonna say like my big sister like that, but like I could tell her more stuff, and she's more like aware of what's going on and stuff, like social media and stuff. So yeah.
Understanding.
Yeah,
I can say that. Like when I would pick you up from pre-K, I was the young mom.
Yeah.
Now with you, I'll be the old mom. So yeah, me and you, I could say we didn't grow up together, but I think you're the child that made me a woman and made me start on my womanhood journey. I can say that for sure. So DeWitt.
I'll say I have a very good relationship with my mom as well. Growing up, my dad probably tell you, very, very strict. I probably couldn't bring anything lower than to be in the house as far as academically, but as far as sports and stuff, like I said, both parents, mom and dad, they were cool for everything I was pretty much did and supported me everything I did. But grades was first, cut the grass, clean the yard, do this. There was a lot of stuff I had to do, a lot of requirements had to be done around the house first before I do anything else.
So I asked that question because a lot of times you'll hear the way men show up in relationships. It goes back to the relationship with their mom. So how do you think that correlates? And also, I'm going to add one more thing, also the treatment of their daughters.
I disagree with that personally. I hate to stop being a contrarian, but I'm gonna go there. No, I don't think so. My relationship with my mom was solid, but I mean, I learned more relationship wise, honestly, from my father. You know, my dad was there for me, so I learned more about relationships from him. And obviously, you know, going through life dealing with women and you know the good and the bad. So I don't think that that's a true statement. It's my personal perspective. They say that men go out there looking for their moms. I can attest that most of my friends don't want to date their moms.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's true personally. So you know, I disagree with that statement.
I think it's true, but I think it has something to do with like if you're closer with your mom, then that's true. But if you're closer with your dad, then it has something to do with that. Like whoever you're closer with, yeah.
Oh, so you want money on me now? I would say this is me personally. I think my mom was a good person, but I would never date somebody just like reminds me of my mother. That's just me personally. You know, I think I was dating someone years ago. I was like, you remind me of my mother. I said, I could never date you ever. So that was my personal perspective on it. Because sometimes you got too many similarities and things like that. You don't want to be bothered. But you remind me of my mother. No, that's not something that I'm going to do for somebody else. Just my personal perspective on it.
Well, I could have dated somebody like my mother because, you know, she was genuine. You know, she was real. I mean, it wasn't like it was a father in the picture that made me be a father in the picture where I'm at. But the thing about her is that I never heard her say a bad word or anything else about him, you know, regardless of him not being there or anything like that. And I grew up to be a man. My mother raised 7. 1 girl and 6 boys. And all of us stayed out of mischief and all that stuff. I mean, we thought she was mean as I don't know what when we were younger. Not really mean, but you know, she knew how to, you know, tear your tail up and sit down and tell you why she tore your tail up. You know, I have you laughing because you just got your tail tore. You know, I mean, this is the type of mother that she was and never had nothing to say about anybody or get in anybody else's stuff. You know, stay to herself.
So let me speak further on that. I guess if a man does not have a good relationship with his mother, or she's not present, then that's what they mean by how it correlates to the relationship they have. So not that you're looking for your mother, like maybe if you see a man that's not respectful towards women, sometimes they'll say, oh, maybe because he didn't have a mother present or he didn't have that figure.
I mean, that's possible, but I mean, that's probably really rare anyway. Like, right, in most instances, the mom is going to be around, right? So that's going to be a very rare situation that's going to happen. So again, I think I just don't look at it that way, and I think the guys who, this is just my perspective, I'm going to take it wrong, but I think the guys who are looking for a mom probably did have a great mom or something, but maybe the mom may have coddled them to a certain extent, right? Because, you know, as men, we want to raise our young boys to grow up and be men, right? And so we're not going to be looking for somebody to coddle us. Like, we're going to take care of our own business. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't need anybody cooking me. I don't need anybody to do anything for me because, you know, my parents raised me to be a man. So maybe if you were coddled a little bit, you're probably looking for that. But just in my perspective, you know, I don't know many of my friends who are successful, you know, who are looking for somebody just like their mom. I don't know anybody person like that I can think about my head. But, you know, my perspective.
Hey y'all, this episode is brought to you by That Good Peace, the luxury relaxation brand promoting peace, mental healthiness, and presence. Be sure to head over to thatgoodpeace.com to check out all of our handmade candles, teas, and essential oils to levitate your senses, teleport your mind, and manifest your mood. This week's featured candle is Daydreaming About Bearded Bay. To experience this candle for yourself, use the code LFMM4 at checkout for 20% off all of our products.
So let's talk about heartbreak. Have you ever had your heart broken?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think for a young man or for a young person, let me say that, heartbreak is essential, right? I think you need to get that out the way as early as possible. You know, you don't want to be 25 years old getting your first heartbreak. 25, 30 years old, because, you know, I don't know how you'd be able to handle that, you know. Yeah, so I definitely have my heart broken. You know, it happened in high school. Yeah.
High school was your first heartbreak?
High school was my first heartbreak.
So what was that situation?
You know, I think everybody goes to a situation, tell me if I'm wrong, I think you guys would agree, that you have a situation where when you're young, you think of everything as, you know, white picket fences and everything, peaches and rainbows, right, with this one person, and then that person doesn't act the way you think they should act. And then you get that rude awakening, like, hold up, this ain't supposed to go this way. I thought we were supposed to get married, and, you know, and so I think you need to get that, you need to have that, though, because life is going to throw you curveballs, right? And so you need to get, I believe, get it out the way as early as possible. So that situation, it hurt me at that time, but then it turned me into a person that, you know, people would say, well, you know, the kind of person I am today, yeah.
That was my next question. Do you think that changed you, the heartbreak?
Yes, absolutely. Like
for the better or for the worse?
Absolutely.
What's the better?
Because, you know, don't take this the wrong way. I know you got some ladies around here. It taught me about like the nature of like women sometimes, right? Like, you know, like they don't always do what you think they're going to do, you know. So it was like it just taught me that. Like I understood, like, you know, you got to be a certain way. There's a reason that they have this saying, "Nice guys finish last," right? You know, and as you start going through life as a pretty good guy, you start to understand this is kind of actually real, man. It sucks, but
no, it does not suck being a good guy. Is that what you're saying?
Ask some nice guys out there how they finish.
Oh. So I just want to interrupt for a second to say that this segment is sponsored by That Good Piece. So every episode I always set the vibe by lighting a candle, and this candle is called Daydreaming About Bearded Bay. So this one is the one that all the men buy from me, so I'm gonna light that one now. So DeWitt, what do you feel about heartbreak? Have you had your heart broken before?
I've had my heart broken before, and like what Mill said, I'm gonna try to chime in on that. You got to get it done early as soon as possible. Like I said, you wait till your 20s or having in your 30s, then you're really gonna be like, it's kind of hard to rebound from those type of things ever. But you know, like I said, it turns you into a different person because now you understand real expectations on life and how people treat each other. And sometimes, me and my friend, we talk all the time. Women have different views on how they should be treated or what should be treated. What they say, most times they said the bad guys usually finish first, whatever. So when you're younger, when you're a teenager or in your early 20s, the drug dealer is the street guy. The guy it looks flashy then, but as you start to get older, it does transition to the guy that has the working job, the 9 to 5, the professional life that ends up winning. But sometimes, like I said, women, they trap themselves younger, dealing with guys that don't have as much. Or, I mean, they have all the street stuff, and they want you to come in and kind of save them with certain type of things. But, so it's conversations we have all the time, whatever, that as you get older, you get better. So it's usually pretty good to actually get your heart broken earlier. So as you get older, you start understanding how life goes and what to expect with opposite sex.
So Jaden, have you dealt with heartbreak yet, being 16?
No.
It's coming. Don't worry about it.
I pray great things for you, but everyone goes through that experience. So what about you?
Do I got to go back that far? No, I'm just saying. But yes, it did happen at an early age. And I could say heartbreak don't just happen one time, you know, because when you give yourself freely, you know, you expect a certain thing from somebody else. Not really expect, but the most thing, a lot of times, we don't know what we want to do our own selves. You know, so we push ourselves out there and you open your heart up. When you open your heart up, you're going to get it broken. But, you know, is that a good thing? It makes you mature. It makes you grow up. It makes you know who to trust and how to trust them and how to far go with anybody. One thing about a heartbreak is that you're going to always have a heartbreak. That's what I believe. I don't know about anybody else, you know, because when you give all of yourself, you're supposed to give all of yourself. But, you know, a lot of times you don't get all of yourself back. That's a heartbreak to me. You know, But we still go on because you love that person enough and you trust them enough to say, you know something, I'm open up. I'm all in. I'm in here for
Yeah.
I'm here for the long haul.
So do you think like young women won't, I want to say won't get their heart broken, but if men are more honest upfront with their intentions and honest about different things like that, that it can lead to less heartbreak?
No.
That's part of life.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. I don't care whether it's women, men, your job, your things you at home, you with your family. It could be a mother, it can be a father, it can be your children. So heartbreak just doesn't come in one square. Oh, this girl
Relational heartbreak.
I'm about to say, that's the case,
Familial.
yeah,
Not familial.
if that's the case, then yeah, I've had heartbreak, but relationship wise.
Yeah, so it's essential in life in order to grow. So it's going to happen no matter what and how you think about it, and that's
And at the end of it, it's not the end of the world. You
It's
just got your heart broken, pick up the pieces and
rebound, go back up, go back out the next day. Let's go.
But I want to make sure I understand the question you're asking. You're saying, if men were real with their intentions, would that eliminate young women's heartbreak?
It's not going to take it all away.
So
Because something's going to go
one-sided?
around.
That's what.
But wait,
yeah,
this is me talking from a woman talking to y'all as a man. So my questions are coming from a woman.
Okay.
So my question is, you meet somebody and, you know, you're all in, but they're not all in. They're all in a bunch of different situations, but they're not open and upfront about that. So at the end, when you're thinking it's going to end a certain way and it doesn't, your heart is broken.
That's true.
So if he told me in the beginning, that's what I'm saying.
I got you. But here's what you got to understand. That happens to men as well, right?
No, that does happen to men as well, but that's not my question.
I know.
We put a spin on
Yeah,
it.
but that's what I'm
No,
saying. That happens to men as well, right?
Mhm.
It happens to everybody. Like you're gonna. The thing that we have to understand, I see people who do this all the time, right? But I want to find this kind of person. It's like sometimes you like somebody more than they like you, right? And there's gonna be guys that like you more than you like them,
Right.
and that happens to everybody. The problem is that nobody wants to be the person who likes somebody else more than another person like them. We don't want to be on the other side of that fence. It's like,
But mostly guys are like that.
yeah,
Because they've been broken in their hearts and they be saying, you know something, if that woman don't like me, I'm not giving in. But the thing about it is most of the time, men say, well, I'm gonna pull that girl over there. But 9 times out of 10, she ain't seen you 10 weeks ago and you just now looking up. And she ain't seen you a long time ago. And
yeah. I mean, that's true. But I think that what happens is, and I really do understand the plight of women, right? It sucks because as a guy, no, I'm serious. To be honest with you, it sucks as a guy. If I like a girl more than she likes me, she's not gonna let me get to a certain place with her, right? I'll never get that close to her.
Right.
If a girl likes me more than I like her, I may have sex with her. It's gonna be things that she can get that. I can blur those lines really easily, right? And so women sometimes get confused because like, oh well, he's doing this, we're doing these things, right? So it's worse for that because as a guy, I can like this girl as much as I want to. I love Rihanna, but I ain't never get close enough to her for her to play me like that, right? So for a girl, you can get close enough to a man to make you think that he likes you just like you like him.
Mhm.
I think that as men, I have a daughter, Wood has daughters. We have to do a good job of teaching our young ladies when they're young, teenage years, about
Filter out.
how to filter out these guys. And to belabor the point, you got to make sure that you ladies are learning how to stop being attracted to this shiny object, right? Because there's some guys out there that will love you just the way you want to be loved, but y'all all be wanting the same 5 men, right? So it works both ways. So like teaching our young ladies how to. I don't even know if this is possible because women attracted, people are attracted who they're attracted to, right?
And that's what I talk to the girls about. It's love versus lust. That's not love, right?
It's not, but sometimes people can't help who they're attracted to, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like I can tell my daughter all day, hey, don't like a dude that's on the football team who got all the girl, don't like him. And it doesn't matter what I say to her, she wants to still like that. She may still like this guy, right? But it's like at that point, don't get mad at him. Get mad at you for being attracted to him, right? Because there's a guy over there that's in the computer class that probably was bringing you candy and chocolate that you just shoo him away. So it's like who's at fault, right? We want to blame the guy that she liked, but it's like, okay, what about the other guy that liked her and she wasn't paying him no attention, right? So it's like that's real.
But let's be real too, right? women like competition.
They do.
They do. Like you said, all women, they want to go after that one guy that I bet you I can get him first if somebody else can get him.
Nah, that never been me.
Well, I'm telling you, man, women are in competition over pretty much over the same guy, especially in high school. They always want the one person. You know,
I
I was
set
like,
yourself up right there. I'm not. No, I don't want no parts.
Yeah.
But you know, like unlike men, women do want a man that's like a father.
Mhm.
They do go after that. You know, that reminds me of dad to a degree. Now, if dad going with this one, that one, and whatever, now you don't want to stop your daughter, and now your daughter is acting like dad. You know, you have set up something for her because now she's going to be getting used because that's what she's used to seeing. Well, this is the way dad treats women, and that's it. I don't have a daughter, but I'm just saying I've been
Right.
around and I've seen it for
The
myself.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I think that especially when people are young, those things are. I want a good father not coming into play when people are having kids. Like, you know, and you're 20, she got a big booty, man. You know, and look at his swag. So we're choosing people on completely surface stuff, especially as young people.
Yeah.
So it's, again, like you say, it's lust, it's the attraction, the attraction triggers. And so sometimes what happens is, as a woman, as a young lady, you're 18, 19 years old, you want the shiny object, the guy that everybody else wants. This guys can't be a player if more girls didn't want him than he wanted, right? So we got to deal with the fact that women are, a lot of times, they are attracted to the same kind of man for whatever reason. I don't know, you know?
but and women outnumber men as well too.
Yeah.
What was it 12-1, 10-1? And then you go to certain areas in DC, so it's 25-1. So when you get outnumbered, you have different options.
Mhm.
And like I said, you have to be very
So you have to
conscious.
take all those options. So we're gonna take responsibility as well.
Yeah,
Because
no,
there's so many of y'all, and just I'm just in a candy store.
Yes, but here's the difference, right? And like this, I'm glad you said that. As a young lady, y'all don't understand what it's like to be a man, right? Because, you know, like we don't understand what it's like to have a kid, right? We can't understand what that's like. As a young lady, ladies don't understand what it's like to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you're right. You're like, oh, you shouldn't want those options. Well, you had a bunch of options your whole
No,
life.
you could want the options.
No. See,
Choosing all the options at one time.
yes, because we're wired differently. See, and this is the thing that you got to understand. As a man, we're just completely wired differently, and you guys will never understand it. Like, why do you want to do that with so many other people? It's like, I don't know. We're just wired this way. I don't know. I don't know why we're like this, right? Just like I don't
But it's
understand what it's
perfect.
like to have a menstrual cycle, right? I
Right.
can't understand why when she's about to come on her cycle, she gets angry and has an attitude. Yo, what's wrong with you? This didn't bother you last week, but now it bothers you, right? So like, there's things about it that we are innately different, and sometimes I think what happens with women is that they want men to think like women. You know, like we're not attracted to the same thing. So we got to understand that. And I personally believe that if we as people, as fathers, mothers, or whatever, if we taught women early about truly male nature,
Mm-hmm.
that it would solve a lot of problems. Like, listen, this man, he's 18, 19 years old. Faithfulness is probably not really it's probably
I
not
agree
gonna
with
happen.
that.
You know, like, let's be, but it's like, because we feed him the fantasy, this man should be just with one, like, yo,
No.
that's not reality. It's not
I
gonna happen.
honestly
It's just
wouldn't
not
get
gonna
married
happen.
before marry any man that's younger than 30, honestly, because of that. But I'm glad you said all of that, because it brought me back to my same point. Y'all have all these options in the store, right? So why not tell the one girl, like, you are an option? Like, I'm dating 7 other people, or this is not monogamous. So she won't go believing that.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. There's a reason for that. Because we understand as men, if I tell her that, she's not gonna treat me the same way she treats me now. So like, what
So
women
being a deceiver.
No, you can go deceitful. I'm not. What we gotta understand is this: we're not going to have because I have sisters, right? And I talk to them this exact same way. You want this man to go against his intent for the betterment of you, right? Like you want him to put you ahead of himself, right? So just like you can't expect him to do that. Like, well, he could have just told me that. Well, that's going to go against what his goal is, right? His goal is to,
Be a player.
to conquer that. So it's like, you can't, you can expect him to do that. It makes no sense. Like, no, like you're not just like if you just want to go to dinner with, you're not gonna say, listen, bro, we just go to dinner. I mean, I'm not doing nothing with you. You're not gonna tell that up front most of the time.
Yeah.
You're gonna go and placate him a little bit and do all these other things with, but because you're at the end of the day, you want to get some dinner. You want a free meal that day.
I guess some dinner.
Or a date.
Yeah, or you want to spend some time,
Yeah.
right? Or you just want him to come over and help you move a couch. You know, like,
You got someone do stuff like
so that's
that.
what I'm saying. It's like we only criticize men for this. We don't criticize because nobody cares about men really. Nobody
Oh
criticize
my
the women
God.
for this stuff. Yeah, I mean it's true.
It's real, man. Listen, sometimes as a man, you gotta fix it up, get up, and keep it moving. You can't. You don't have time because guess what? I gotta take care of my family. I got bills to pay. I got the mortgage to pay. I got car payment. You don't have time to go, oh man, I can't go to work for a whole week. I don't feel well. You gotta get stuff done, and nobody cares. Let's be honest. Nobody really cares in life. If your parents pass away, you got 4 days of sick leave or 4 days of bereavement leave. If your sibling passes away, you got 2 days of sick leave. No, you can't get a whole month off of work. It doesn't happen that way. You can't get a whole week off of work. You get 4 days if your parents pass away, or 4 days if your child pass away. If you're in a business setting. Now you work for yourself, but then you work for yourself and that happens, guess what? Your business is not going to be open. You're going to lose money. So that's just the way the world is designed, where no one really feels sorry for somebody if something happens for you in real life. You just don't.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Letters from My Mama, please consider supporting us by subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a friend, and donating to Letters TV. Thanks for watching.